The Wager Talk You Pick special is live, giving you the option to pick the league of your choice and get 30 days of picks for only $99. 30 days of the NFL for $99, done. Just want NBA and NHL for the next month? You can do that for only $99 each. That's right, 99 gets you every release from the league of your choice from your favorite handicapper, including 5% best bets for 30 days. No coupon code is required, and 30-day sports passes will go back to regular price Sunday at midnight. So lock in as many sports and handicappers for only $99 before time runs out.
Hey guys, welcome in. Happy Thursday. It's time to talk a little NBA basketball here on the NBA Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk.com. We got a nice little card here tonight. We got a couple of games as usual that we'll go over for you, break them down, see if we can't find any edges. And we are going to do it with the original OG crew on Thursday. That is right, the original NBA Tip-Off Show. There they are. Skee Profit in the house, Rob Vino, and Mr. Tony Finn. While lucid at this point, we probably should get as much information out of him as humanly possible, since he's probably not going to remember anything in 20 minutes. But Skee, my man, talk to me. I needed you on this show yesterday, Skee. You were the only guy with any sense that would have backed the Lakers getting 9.5. Nobody here wanted anything to do with the Lakers. Even in game, you could have gotten the Lakers at like 13 or 14 points there at the half. So big question, were you on the Lakers at all last night? What was the night like, and what do you got going on tonight, man?
I wish I was on the show with you. You probably would have talked me into it, and I would have looked a little bit harder. Because I was leaning the Lakers, but I didn't take it. My day yesterday, it was a losing day. I've had a lot of winning days lately. Yesterday was a losing day. Overall, I think I went 1-3, but it's still been good lately, and I'm looking to get back on track today.
Listen, it's an interesting time now in the association here, Rob. Obviously, unders still a topic of conversation from a total perspective. We're starting to see a big swing, like the bottom feeders are starting to rear their ugly heads, and obviously some of the elites are starting to pull away up at the top of the standings. Tell me what your thoughts were last night on a big card here, and what do you got going on at WagerTalk.com tonight?
Yeah, real quick, WagerTalk.com tonight. What's available right now is the NFL Thursday night game up and available, WagerTalk.com. You can pick that one up. The NBA, thoughts on it the last couple of nights, Joe? I got to tell you, 27 teams have played Tuesday, Wednesday night. Brooklyn played twice. We won't count them in there twice. But there's only 3 teams that shot better than 40% from the three-point arc in the last 2 nights. It's crazy how bad these teams are shooting. 15 teams, 29% or worse from 3. They keep chucking them. They keep missing them. I kind of thought this stuff would even itself out and some of these teams would come around and start shooting well. But it looks more like an epidemic after 11, 12 games than it does anything that's going to correct itself. So I don't know. There's a lot of talk about defense from a lot of young teams, Minnesota, Charlotte, which is all well and good when they're winning games. But I want to see these teams after they lose 2 or 3 in a row and, basically those young guys are, screw this defense. Let's get some shots up. So I don't know. It's really been weird. Just don't understand what the reason is for all the poor shooting across the NBA right now.
Yeah, it's a good point, which is obviously correlating to some of the totals that we've been seeing. It's a struggle for a lot of teams here. It's so funny too, watching the in-game numbers as these teams are playing and going, is that like 183? Does that say 180, 183 for a total in a game? And that's what we've been getting here, Tony Finn. You continue to dominate, by the way. A big hats off to you, continuing to dominate here in the association this season. 36-19-1 last check. What do you got going on at WagerTalk.com tonight?
Well, I haven't released anything, not college, not NBA. I have one play in the NBA. I just haven't put it up yet. I'm trying to do my due diligence and make certain that the information I have is accurate, and we'll push something to the board that it's going to be that we know what's going on, right? I as I said before the show started, we don't have to talk about the Lakers and Skee. We know the Lakers. He would have laid 9 with the Lakers, not
It's a good point.
taking 9.
Good
Yeah,
point.
taking
Yeah.
9. That's just that wouldn't have been
Yeah.
fair. And he just said, "No, I'm sorry, I've got to lay 9."
Mm-hmm.
No,
Good point.
yeah. Well, I don't know about good point, but
Skee was on the alternate line, minus 14. He's loving his Lakers. All right, Tony Finn, we're done with you. You got nothing to say. Here we go. Plays up. You had nothing to the conversation. Good God. Let's go. Contrarian play of the day is where we are going to start. We hit it here, guys. Last night on the show, another outright dog winner here with the Orlando Magic getting it done last night against the New York Knicks, getting an 11.5 number. Tonight, we are going to take a look at, well, an oldie but goodie here. Certainly been profitable backing the Cavaliers in this spot here for our contrarian plays. 9.5 against the Golden State Warriors here. Now, it's an interesting spot here. 9.5, we saw, obviously, this opened up about 8.5. And we know who the public is backing, the Golden State Warriors. Now, a little bit shorthanded here is what Cleveland was last night, but even given how shorthanded they were last night, they still brought it, kept that game within the number. Keep an eye on the injury report here. Obviously, Steph Curry, on the list is questionable. There is some concern here that maybe he'll sit this one out after a big week here. I believe Jared Allen also possibly on his way back. It was a non-COVID situation, but they say he could be back in the lineup, which would be great. Kevin Love's back. So when you put it all together here, Skee, Cleveland at home, they've been anything but a doormat here. So do you like them in this spot? Maybe a little letdown for Golden State. Take the 9.5?
Well, first of all, I see here Allen and Markkinen out. I know one or both of them were game time decision earlier, but I have them both as out. And Curry, I have him as likely. So, I know they do play tomorrow, and I usually, I wouldn't want to look to late points like this. I could totally see a backdoor cover for Cleveland just because, they may save some of those minutes for tomorrow for the Golden State side. But Cleveland, it's like their 5th game in 7 nights. They've been playing like every day. And they're probably, I just think Golden State can get it done early. I'll take Golden State first half, and I'm not going to get in the way of the contrarian gods today.
Well, you bring up a good point here because this number, Rob, may continue to grow. We might get double digits here before tip-off, obviously, as the public money comes pouring in. But it is certainly, I don't like the spot for Golden State in any way, shape, or form. Shorthanded or not, this has got backdoor written all over it. What do you think?
Yeah, I would reiterate what Skee said. If you like Golden State, you play them first half here. Now, the rebuttal to that would be, well, if Cleveland's worn out, the worn out stuff would show up in the second half, which I can't argue. So perhaps if you like Golden State, you want to play them full game as well. But it's interesting the injuries that they have, Joe. I mean, 3/5 of the starting lineup is gone. They played hard minutes, as you mentioned last night. That game was in question all the way to the end from a point spread perspective, right? And the Nets finally get it done at the very end. That they win by 10 at the very end. But that thing was like 6 or 7 points with 3 minutes left. They're built on interior defense this year. Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley in the middle. That's what's really been successful for this team. The defensive end, Colin Sexton, of course, they lost earlier. Ricky Rubio's filled in pretty good. But your defense suffers when you start filling in those holes with Dean Wade, with Kevin Love, with Ed Davis, Isaac Okoro. It's a little team. I think more than side, you probably could look to total here because I don't think Cleveland's very good defensively at this point in time. Everything that they had going for them is now on the injured list. So we'll see. I every time I get in the way of the contrarian gods, I get stepped on. So I'm not going to do that. I would probably recommend Warriors first half, especially if Steph is going to be in and out. So maybe go in and grab and get the heck out.
Listen, I don't hate that at all here, but I worry about, like Skee said, scheduling wise. We got Golden State. We know not another game tomorrow, coming off of that win against Brooklyn there, Tony Finn. So this is a young Cavaliers team that's obviously bringing it each and every night here. So you think the back door is open? Worth a shot taking the 9.5 with the Cavs?
You know, before I even talk, I'll talk to it as I talk to this, and that is that I looked at the game yesterday really hard. When I saw Cleveland plus double digits, 10.5 in that area against the Brooklyn team that, listen, their second rotation, I'll say it again on the show, pay attention, this second rotation in Brooklyn, when they sit both Harden and Durant at the same time in the first quarters, getting a second, in the third, beginning of fourth, is horrible. They can't score, and they give points up. Let me ask you this real quick. Yesterday's game is interesting, really interesting, guys. Real quickly, Cleveland, they shoot. I think they shoot. Let me look at them. They shoot 39% overall, 25% from 3-point land, and they cover the number.
Mm-hmm.
How do they cover the number? If it wasn't for Aldridge yesterday putting up 24 points from that second rotation, a lot of times in that second rotation, I'm not so certain that this Cleveland team doesn't win outright. This Brooklyn team has issues. They really have issues, and we'll talk about it later on when they're a topic here. Cleveland, absolutely. I'd love to be on them. I'd love to be contrarian, and I really would. Save this. That injury list is pretty damn concerning. Second night, on basically in the second leg of a back-to-back. No Allen, no Markkanen, no Mobley, no Sexton, no Stevens. Who's playing, guys?
So what was the answer there? Was it?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
read
not.
off the injury report. I'm not really sure you spit anything out there. All right, no problem. Listen, bottom line, Cavs as the contrarian spot here tonight, 9.5. Bit of a letdown spot here for the Warriors. These guys are a little hesitant, but they know better than to thumb their nose up at the contrarian god. So we'll move on to our first featured matchup here of the day, and I believe we're going to take a look at the Miami Heat taking on the red-hot Wizards. How do you like this battle for the top? +7 is what we saw as an opening number for the Wizards. Obviously, Miami coming off of that win last night, just suffocating the New Orleans Pelicans. A total of 209. I'm seeing that down to 206 now, so that's come down. Skee, I'll come to you again here, my man. Talk to me, Miami Heat. Obviously, question marks about who was going, who wasn't going last night. It does appear Bam is probable here. Jimmy Butler looks like he is a full go now. So slowly but surely, everyone getting a little healthier here from Miami. How do you look to play this one?
Yeah, they're getting more healthy, and I think Bam is likely to play today. So they'll just be without the same guys who've been out for a while. Like they have their starters back. And on a back-to-back versus Wizards team, also on a back-to-back, I think that's pretty even. Dinwiddie, he'll be out for that Wizards side. The Heat have been good at home. The problem has been on the road. So in a situation like this, even playing field as far as rest is concerned, I think the Heat should be the play. You should see that dominant Heat team that you saw to start the year. So not a strong play for me, but on the side, that's the way I lean. And if I look at the total, Wizards haven't been playing fast. I think the Heat, they don't really like to play with a lot of pace. Both teams top 10 defending the 3. I would look more towards an under in this game. So Heat side and under if I'm playing.
All right, Heat side and the under if they're playing there. I'm trying to see if Lowry, I don't think I see him on the list here, Rob, but I don't know what you've seen updated here, but it looks like the full complement of starters for the Miami Heat. Bradley Beal looks to be a go here for the Wizards, both on a back-to-back. Do you agree with the downward total here of this game?
Yeah, it's interesting, right, Joe? Because they're complete contrasts of one another. For the Wizards, they played 7 consecutive unders. Very un-Washington-like, right? But Wes Unseld Jr. has come in there, and this is a different team now. Different style, different everything. This isn't Scotty Brooks, up and down, 130-point team, so adjustments have to be made. Obviously, last year we would have never saw 206.5 for a total in a Wizards game. That would be outrageous. But on the other side of that, Miami's 6-1 over the total in their last 7 games. And they're over because they're a pretty efficient offense. They don't play with a ton of, but they will play with pace. I mean, you listen to the Heat announcers sometimes when you watch these games, and they don't like it when the Heat slow down. They like it when the Heat play faster. So we'll see what they do here in this game tonight. Both of them are on back-to-backs, as Skee mentioned. The Wizards really managed their minutes pretty good last night. Obviously, with Lowry and Bam out last night, Bam a couple nights in a row, but Lowry resting, they should be fresh to go with Jimmy, who hadn't played in a while, and then just played last night. So I don't see any problem with tired legs here. The issue is probably going to be which defense takes hold of the other better. And I think it will be Miami. And I'm going to lean towards something situational in this game, Joe, which is Washington actually comes in here with somewhat of a bullseye on their chest, right? Their record in the Eastern Conference is really, really good. They have to be taken seriously at this point in time, which was not always the case when the Wizards march into Miami. You think you can roll out the balls and beat that team, but I think Miami will take it serious. Their guys, without Dinwiddie, there's a little bit of a question mark for me as far as Wizards scoring goes. Wizards last night get Beal back and only shoot 36%, and they hadn't done that. They'd shot 46% or better in 7 straight until last night they threw up a dud. So to me, I would look under. I obviously like the opening number a lot better. But right now, both of these teams, to me, probably get locked in a bit of I don't want to call it a playoff style battle, but I think there'll be a lot of defense in this game.
So the thing that concerns me here, Tony, is that the Charlotte Hornets, from a defensive perspective, are, what's the word? Shit. That's what I'm looking at. And yet, somehow or another, they did what? 8 of 42 from three-point range is what Washington was. They were ahead at the half in that game. But the second half, it was all Charlotte. So what do you do in this case? Do you lay the 7 with Miami?
Well, first off, Charlotte's better. They really have made great adjustments at halftime. If you look at their numbers and look at their past box scores, you'll find that they've been pretty good. It really helps when Washington still, as Rob mentioned, they're still portrayed as being an offensive team. Before last night, I'll mention last night was one of the nights. I've been in Charlotte 3 times this year. Luckily, I've been 3-0. One of them was yesterday. And I'll tell you, I watched the first half of that game, Joe, and Charlotte looked like they were dead in the water. They just looked dead, right?
Yep.
Long story short on that one is this Washington team, their numbers, offensive numbers, are bad. They're truthfully bad. The fact is they've made a run. They're a play against, for me, moving forward in the right spot. I'm not sure -7 with if I know Bam's in that lineup, then I'll play. If I know he's healthy, going to give me 35 minutes, I'm on Miami. Because Washington, and for Washington, they're not going to have Gafford tonight, looks like. At least he's game time. Without Gafford, they're 5 points less than they are when they have Gafford. And even at that, it's pretty pedestrian. Think about before last night, the 3 teams they played, there was about a .90 or 9/10 points per possession for a game. And last night, at times, without Gafford, they were .6. The offense is bad. That's bad. Miami, Miami's going to win tonight. Do they win by 7? I think much of it depends on whether Bam. I mean, they still got a lot of guys hurt. Joe, Hero, Martin, Morris, Dedmon. All of them are game time decisions because they're beat up and playing on a back-to-back. So it's kind of a tricky situation there. I would be on Miami here. I like the under. Again, I like the under in this game simply because of the pace. We know Lowry's going to push the pace. My concern is if Hero doesn't play, it's going to be up and down because that's the way Lowry plays. It's when Hero's playing the point when they slow down.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. The Miami Heat and the Wizards here, 7:30 Eastern time tip. We are going to head out west here for featured game number 2. We're going to take a look at the Denver Nuggets taking on the Philadelphia 76ers and just decimated by injuries. What else can you say about what's happened with this Sixers squad? It opened up at 7. I'm seeing 8s, and then it back down now 7.5s, 209.5. The total hasn't gotten much play, but obviously the Nuggets, the Joker, advantage 76ers here, Rob Vino. This is your team down the road from where you are. What do we do? 0-5 straight up, I believe. They haven't covered a game in forever. What do you do with this Sixers squad?
Well, you can't play them. I mean, I shouldn't say that because the number can always suggest that you could play them. But it was disappointing in this area, Joe, because they expected that Joel Embiid would be back in the lineup here tonight, and instead he continues to test positive. And now we're talking about the whole road trip without him. So it's going to be tough. When you look at the front line that they threw out there the other night with Shake Milton, Tobias Harris, and Andre Drummond, and I just give you Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic, it should be Denver domination inside. What Philly needs to do, and we saw this in the games where Tyrese Maxey went off for 30 plus in a couple, and I think 24 in the other. But their assets now are smaller, and they need to push. And we just know that you can't push Denver. It's interesting to me that this total is 209.5 stuck in the mud. And the game we just talked about, Washington-Miami, is 206.5. Denver's been an under team all season long. They're playing a shorthanded lineup that has a difficult time scoring, especially in a half-court game. I would have to look under in this particular game. If you're not a fan of laying big points, if you're too scared to take Philadelphia and those points, then the alternative is to go ahead and play this thing under 209.5 because you could definitely see Denver pulling out something, 103, 92, something in that vicinity, unless shots just start falling like crazy. Philly did have a day off, but it's their second consecutive in altitude, and Utah held them to 85 the other night. So I would have to say I'd look under.
So it's a tough spot here because Thibault's still out, obviously. Green now, Danny Green's out along with Embiid. Will Barton is questionable. He's got a back issue. They still don't have Michael Porter Jr. So when you line it all up here, one team's got Jokic, the other team doesn't. Is as simple as that for you there, Tony Finn?
Yeah, pretty much is. Yeah, I think you said it all. But first off, if Barton's not, I want to jump back. If Barton's not in the lineup, first off, this is an underplay. Rob is absolutely correct. And he's a game time right now. I'm showing him his game time. If they announce him as out, and I don't think he's going to go, his play is under. And his play is under. The net rating without Jokic on the floor is pretty dismal for Denver. When Barton is out, it's even less. It's even worse. So until they get Murray back, this team is really an under team and a matchup, depending on the matchup, whether you're going to be on them. What's any different tonight than it was 2 nights ago in Utah, guys? Right? Utah's a little bit better offensively, or they can surely be than Denver, but under 209 is the play in this game. And again, without Barton, it's a much larger play for me even. So we'll see what happens.
Skee, I'm looking at the first half total at 107.5 here. How do you see this going down here tonight? Are you looking under, or do you think we might get some points?
I'm in line with these guys. They talk pretty well to the total, especially if you don't have Will Barton. Denver's already playing at the slowest pace in the league over the last 5 games. And usually when these teams play, granted, some other players out there on the floor, more defensive players, they've gone under 4 of the last 5 meetings. So I'm in line with them as far as that goes. As far as the side, until Philadelphia gets completely healthy, like until Matisse Thybulle and Embiid are back, and I don't want to play them. Like they've lost 5 games in a row, and they failed to cover all 5. So why am I going to whatever the opposite of a falling knife is, or how we always talk about that? I don't want it. So it'll be Denver, the under, and that's it.
Hey, Joe.
Go ahead, Tom.
Philly, minus 12 is their net rating. The 2 Skee's talking about the last 5 games, minus 12 net rating. Yeah.
Wow. And I'll give credit because Denver's defense has been fantastic here. Certainly, they've had their shorthanded situations as well, but I think Will Barton's a big key to what's going to happen here. with Denver and how big a push they can make in this game. 107.5 for a first half total, guys. Also 4.5 on the side with that Denver-Philadelphia match. Now we're going to head over, take a look at our overtime game. The total on the board here that seems to continue to creep up. Let's take a look at... There it is. Who else? The Minnesota Timberwolves and the LA Clippers. Now, 222.5 is what we saw opening up across the marketplace, but it looks like now maybe just starting to creep a little bit up here. Listen, we know about the Clippers, right? We know about the Memphis Grizzlies here. Yeah, we know about the Memphis Grizzlies and their lack of defense, Skee. So when you take that into consideration, Clippers on the road, Memphis no defense, is it just a simple over or not for you in this one?
Well, Clippers, besides a couple games like you mentioned, one of them I think was on a back-to-back where they were kind of flat offensively. They've all usually been going over. So, if they keep that going, I probably would agree with it here. Both top 10 in pace over the last 5 games. We know the Grizzlies are not the greatest defending the 3, and the Clippers one of the top 10 teams shooting it. So, I would look towards an over here, and I just think, there could be, I don't know, depending on how it goes, it could be some extra energy in Memphis, and I probably would expect points.
Yeah, it's at a pick 'em for the game here, Rob. But this total of 221.5. We look at the numbers. We know what Memphis is going to bring to the table defensively. They're going to want to just outscore you. So, is it over or not for you in this one?
I think it would have to be Joe, although I'm scared to death playing anything over nowadays because I love to do it, and they're hammering my skull in every single night. So, but with Memphis, it's crazy because up until their last game, they had allowed 112, 119, 118, 118, 115. And in one of those games where they allowed 118 to the Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota only shot 42% from the field and still got to 118 against this team. The only reason why they only allowed 102 in their last outing is because they played Houston. And I'm going to check. Maybe our producer will check for us.
I'll tell you.
102 is pretty high for Houston nowadays. I mean, I know it's not their season high, but
Hey,
102.
Rob, they shot
break 100, you get 10 tacos.
They shot, I think they shot 50% when they scored 102.
Yeah, that means shut your ass, Finn. That's what that means. Right. There you go.
So listen, the point to this is real simple. They had allowed 112 or plus in 6 straight games. The Clippers are coming off a bad shooting effort. I expect the Clippers to shoot well in this game, and Memphis is going to run. The addition of Dylan Brooks does help them somewhat on the perimeter. I'm sure he'll be after Paul George in this game, but I don't know that, when Paul George gets things going, I don't know that anybody stops him. So I would look towards over, Joe. I don't understand the downward movement other than everything's going under. So why not just wake up and play every single game under until things start to change?
I'm with you there, man. I think Batum doubtful. Terrence Mann looks questionable, or maybe he's been upgraded to probable, but they were a little shorthanded there last game, I believe, against San Antonio. So what do you think here? Do you trust both of these offenses? And really the inconsistency on the Clippers is the worrisome part. But do you think they've got enough to get this thing up and over 221?
Me?
You're the only one left there, Finn.
I thought, man, I'd do my best to get through this up being buzzed.
Just don't bring up Houston. You're good.
I just did. You just didn't hear me yet. This Grizzlies team, they played Houston, and I'm on the over in this game 2 nights ago, right? I'm on the over. Yeah, exactly. 221, I think, or 218 came down to. And I played the over. In my write-up, I said, listen, Houston's going to put up against Memphis. They're going to score 120. That's plenty to get. They didn't just get over. It's the alternative over, right? Well, they put up 102 against Memphis, which should have spoke to playing against them last night with OKC, which I did. We have to, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Robert. You've got to play against this Houston team. They are abysmal right now. Abysmal offensively. Am I concerned with this game? The only thing I'm concerned with, though, is this.
Yeah, it was good.
The only thing I'm concerned with is if you look at the Clippers injury report, there's a lot of guys on it. Now, are they going to play? I think a lot of them will play. You're not going to have any problem scoring against Memphis, except unless you're Houston or Corpus Christi. But I'm over it. I'm on the over in this game.
Well, you knew it when you
Houston
knew.
a beating. They're not even playing today. He's giving them a beating.
Yeah. I was going to say they're not even on the board. Like, what are you doing? For those of you just joining us, by the way, our producer here extraordinaire is in Houston. Robert is in Houston. He's a big Rockets fan, so we feel bad for him every time we bring it up.
What we do for him.
Yeah, it's exactly what we do. Rest in peace, Rockets. My goodness, there. But hey, listen. The bottom line is we have seen the Memphis Grizzlies. They got enough firepower to get it done. So do the LA Clippers. The question is, can we get enough consistency out of both of them to get the job done? I don't think defense is going to be here, but I'm with Rob. Don't understand. It's a bit of a head scratcher. That line moved down from the open on the total. All right, guys, there you go. You got those 4 games now. I believe there's 6 games in total here. So now we'll start at the top and figure out if maybe there is another game here on the card, or maybe one of the ones we discussed here that these guys like a little bit more than the others. So Skee will drop 60 seconds on the clock for you, man. Do with it as you may, man, but give us a best bet here tonight. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I didn't say it before, but I do have a package up in the NBA and a package up in the NFL for this weekend. And still hitting 68% overall my last 40-something plays, and 70% my last 30 in the NBA. And for tonight, I'll give a prop, and it's going to be a plus money one, or at least it was plus money when I bet it. I think it should still be. But I'll go to the Philly and Denver game, and I'm just going to look at Philadelphia. They're still the second worst rebounding team over the last 5 games, still without Joel Embiid. And I'm just not going to overthink it this time. Jokic, he's averaging 13.9 rebounds this season. His prop is 12.5. He's gone over that 4 of his last 5 games, and the number was at plus 104. So I think it's a good shot. I like Jokic over 12.5 rebounds. Best bet.
All right, love it. Yeah, it's kind of, how many of you were kicking your ass when you looked at that Utah Philly game the other night? Like, I can't believe I didn't bet Utah. Like, what was I thinking here? Rob Vino, you are up, my friend. I know you talked about it. I believe we got a little football game here tonight. Best bets are locked and loaded at WagerTalk.com for you. But what do you got else you got going on? And give us a best bet.
Well, I do have one NBA that's going to go up, so I won't use that here on the show. It is not one that we talked about. I usually save these best bets for something that we've talked about here. And by the way, I think Tony Finn bet both ends of Utah the other night, so he was the smart guy, first half and final score. I'm going to go back to what we talked about first, contrarian play, but I think Golden State first half is the right move here. Again, if they want to limit Steph's minutes, play the first half, get the big lead, and then have what happens. But Cleveland, to me, just has lost way too many key pieces to be playing on back-to-back nights after having playing hard minutes late fourth quarter last night. Now you're going to ask them to come right back from the opening tip against a Golden State team that's rested and probably wants to get a big lead at halftime. So the defensive effort from Golden State second half last game was really good against the Nets. The Nets had 58 at halftime and then crumbled in the second half. I think Golden State first half the right way here, Joe, minus 5.5.
Love it. Yeah, you said 5.5. Also, 106.5 I'm seeing for a total in that first half Golden State as well, guys. All right, Tony Finn, Rob Vino said you are the smart one. I had going to have to rewind that, make sure I heard it correctly. But we are going to go ahead and give you 60 seconds to do what you want with. So talk to us. Best bet time.
You might want to pay them to have that taken off the air, because if you have any future, for the sake of your future sales, we're going to go to Denver, Philadelphia, under the total. We talked about it already. Right now, Philly minus 12 net rating. last 5 games. Defense, the worst defensive efficiency in the league, 118 per 100. Until Embiid, until Thibault are back, you can't back this Philadelphia team. You can't play under though. Denver, they were on a nice little run, 5-0 straight up, 4-1 spread until Dallas, which shocked me. But with Barton not in, it's definitely a big play under. If Barton's in, it's still a play under. Martin, this is a smart Denver coach. Smart. He's not going to put Jokic out there for 40 minutes. And without Jokic, they're minus 30 per 100 possessions, under 209.5. Denver and who's the other team? Oh, yeah, Philly.
All right. Good stuff. Can't believe he went 60 seconds that coherently. It's kind of crazy. All right, I'm going to take the New York Knicks on Saturday over the Houston Rockets. No, I'm only kidding. Let's take a look here one more time, guys. Let's see what we got here. Skee, Jokic, over 12.5 rebounds. Rebound props have been great. Skee has been crushing it there, guys, as well. So make sure you head over to WagerTalk.com. Check out the rest of the best bets he's got here on the card. Rob Vino, Warriors, first half, lay to 5.5 on the road against the upstart Cleveland Cavaliers. And Tony Finn, the smart one, just like the other night where he bet Utah every which way he can. He's looking at the under against the Sixers with the Nuggets there. Not enough firepower to make it to 209.5. Quick reminder, guys, great opportunity right now. Kind of fill your card at WagerTalk.com. You can pick a sport, pick any handicapper you want, 30 days. $99. Doesn't get any better than that. Whether it be Ski Profit in basketball, Rob Vino in basketball, college football, or Tony Finn. Yeah, not that. But $99 is basically what you got there, guys. It does not get any better. Hurry up. This is only on until Sunday. So right now, take advantage. You can get any sport, any one of these guys, just $99, 30 days, all the plays in that sport. It's a great deal. All right, and on behalf of Skee and, of course, Rob Vino and Tony Finn, guys, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Make plans to come back and join us once again tomorrow as we do it. Quick, also, we were Cleveland for the contrarian. Those of you that might just be joining us full game, take the 9.5 points for our contrarian play of the day. Appreciate the time, guys. Thanks so much for the support. Hit that bell, hit the like button, and then come back and join us again tomorrow. Another NBA tip-off show coming your way. In the meantime, best of luck with your plays tonight, guys. We'll talk again soon.
Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.